Here we're creating a list using a list comprehension expression. Then we iterate over all the numbers in this list and print them. When we run this program, we get the even numbers from 0 to 18. This is perfectly fine, but there are situations that you might be working with a really large data set or perhaps an infinite stream of data. In those situations, you shouldn't store all those values in the memory because that's very memory inefficient. For example, what if instead of range of 10 here, we had the range of, let's say, a billion? We don't want to store a billion objects in memory. That takes too much memory. In situations like this, it's more efficient to use a generator object. Generator objects are iterable, so just like lists, we can iterate over them. And in each iteration, they generate or spit out a new value. So unlike lists, they don't store all the values in memory, they generate a new value in each iteration. Let me show you how that works. So here, I'm going to replace these square brackets with parentheses. Save the changes, run the program. We get the exact same result. However, values is no longer a list. It's a generator object. Let me show you. So print values, run the program, we get a generator object. So as you can see, generator objects are iterable. We can iterate over them. In each iteration, they spit out a new value. But what is interesting is the size of generator objects. Let me show you how you can get the size of an object. So on the top, from the sys module, we should import a function called getSizeOf. So here we have a generator object. Let's change range to 1,000. Now let's print the size of this object. So I'm going to delete everything here. Call getSizeOf function, pass our generator object, and then print the result. Let's also add a label here. So generator. Run the program. So our generator object takes 120 bytes of memory. What if we change the range to 100,000? Let's run the program. The size of this generator object remains consistent. In contrast, if we used a list comprehension expression here, we would end up with a list of 100,000 items. Let me show you. So I'm going to copy this line and then duplicate it and change parentheses to square brackets. So now we have a list. Let's copy this line as well, change the label, and see the size of this list. Run the program. So our list is taking over 800,000 bytes of memory compared to our generator object that takes only 120 bytes. So in situations where you're dealing with a really large data set or potentially an infinite stream of data, use a generator expression to create a generator object. So when we use parentheses around a comprehension expression, just be aware that because generator objects don't store all the items in memory, you won't be able to get the total number of items you're working with. For example, here, let's just keep the generator object and then print the len of values. When we run this code, we'll get an error. Let's take a look. Object of type generator has no len because we can only access these items, these values, when we iterate over a generator object. So we won't know ahead of time how many objects or how many items this generator is going to produce.